The war in Iran is not surprising to me at all. If you know anything about politics in Washington, if you know anything about the Republican Party and Donald Trump, you would know this war is inevitable, that it was going to happen. I'm going to keep this video short and sweet because it really is so simple. It boils down to three categories: Donald Trump's poll numbers and how he's doing as president, the Israel lobby, and private military contractors. Besides that, this war is completely illegitimate. Iran poses no threat to the United States. Zero. It poses no threat to our allies. It is a completely illegitimate war. They're not building nuclear weapons, okay? Take a look at this. Netanyahu and Trump's war on Iran is wholly unprovoked, illegal, and illegitimate, right? Trump has turned America first into Israel first, which always means America last. I want you to take a look at this Truth Social post or tweet from Donald Trump back in 2012 talking about Obama. Now pay attention to this because this is extremely important as to why we're going to war with Iran right now. Trump said about Obama, now that Obama's poll numbers are in a tailspin, watch for him to launch a strike in Libya or Iran. He is desperate. So Trump already knows that leaders that are doing poorly, especially authoritarian leaders that are doing poorly, start wars to get the minds of Americans off of the job that they are doing, the horrible job that they are doing. He already knows this. He mentioned it back in 2012 about Obama. So this was a plan of Donald Trump's from the beginning. And now that he is one of the most, if not the most unpopular president in United States history, according to polls, his State of the Union was a disaster and everybody hates Trump, okay? He is now starting an offensive war in Iran. So that is the first reason, to get Americans' minds off of the Epstein files, to get Americans' minds off of the horrible, disastrous job him and Republicans are doing. They're starting this war in Iran. That's point one. Well, what's point number two? Point number two is, take a look at this. War wouldn't be so common in the United States if it wasn't so profitable and if Congress wasn't for sale. The top 10 military contractors donated $8.2 million to Congress in the first half of 2023, as an example. They received $203 billion, the military contractors, in government contracts and reported a $13.9 billion in profit in 2023. So they push politicians for more war. This is why the United States is in perpetual war, because it is profitable to a huge portion of the economy, right? Especially to military contractors that pay politicians, because our politicians, thanks to Citizens United and other rulings, in the way our system is built, are bought and paid for. They are for sale. And when politicians are for sale, they do things for their donors. And a huge portion of their donations comes from the military-industrial complex. And so war is profitable, and that's why we're constantly at war. And that's why we're constantly selling arms to every country that's willing to buy arms from us. And every war that we can be in, we do it, right? Because, so this is number two. This is the second reason why we're at war with Iran. It has nothing to do with Iran itself. Iran's not building nuclear weapons. They're not a threat to us whatsoever, at all. Iran is a threat to the biggest military in the history of the world. Iran, give me a break. They're not a threat to us at all. This is all a hoax. Okay, so first is Israel. The second is the military-industrial complex, right? And the third is Donald Trump's disastrous poll numbers. So let's take a look at this, all right? Let's take a look at this. More than half of Pentagon's spending flows to private contractors. Think about that. Half in the Pentagon budget is $1 trillion. Half of that goes to private contractors. You don't think we're going to war with Iran for those private contractors? Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Boeing, General Dynamics, Northrop Grumman. War posture is their business model. Their business model is to be in perpetual war, for the United States to be in perpetual war, okay? So this is a huge reason why we're at war with Iran right now. And take a look at this. Israel bought the Iran war for $200 million. That is what Miriam Adelson and AIPAC gave Trump for his reelection. So you have to understand that the Israel lobby not only pays our politicians and buys our politicians' votes, not just for their support for for Israel in general, but for war with Iran. This is why they give $200 million to politicians' campaigns so that we do whatever Israel tells us to do. Period. That's why we do everything they say. Israel laughs. They laugh at us, right? They think we're a clown show because our politicians are so easily bought and sold. They control us. A tiny nation of 11 million people control an entire nation of 350 million. They control us. We go to every war that Israel wants us to get involved in. We get involved with it. That they own us. We are bought and paid for, okay? After fooling MAGA voters in mass deportation, manufacturing, debt reduction, the Mr. Peacemaker will now get us into another disastrous Middle Eastern war. So Donald Trump's poll numbers right now are disastrous. He is at 60% disapproval, and beyond disastrous poll numbers with independents, with women, with black voters, with Hispanic voters, he's doomed. He is beyond a lame duck. He is the most unpopular president in the history of the United States. All right. And so you don't think he's starting this war to get people's minds off the Epstein files? You don't think he's starting this war to get people's minds off of how disastrous he is as president of the United States? Of course. He's the one that brought it up in 2012. It was his idea when he mentioned that about Obama. So he already had this as part of his playbook. This is Trump's thing. He knows how authoritarians work. If the country's going badly, start a war. That's how you get Americans' minds off of, and usually there's a rally around the flag effect when there's a war, especially when American troops die. So if American troops die, he's going to go out there on TV and say, oh my God, we got to rally around the flag. And it usually boosts presidential poll numbers. And Donald Trump is a complete disgusting con man human being. So of course he would start a war to boost his poll numbers. Of course he would start a war to get people's minds off of the Epstein files. This is why Donald Trump's doing it. If you believe in fighting for the working class, if you believe in fighting for economic justice, anti-political corruption, anti-corporate greed, anti-fascism, anti-war, please consider subscribing, leave comments in the comment section because that's what this channel is about. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.